what's up guys, and thanks for tuning into the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Saint Seiya Saint Cloth Myth EX Pegasus Seiya Final Bronze Cloth. But before we get started, if you haven't already done so, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Now, let's get started. So, taking a quick look at the box. It's a very, very nice looking box. Let's take a quick look all the way around. We see we got a nice starry galaxy background. We got Pegasus, the mythical creature right here, and then here we have Seiya in the Pegasus armor. We got Pegasus Seiya, Final Bronze Cloth. Now this says final because Seiya, or actually all the Bronze Saints, actually ended up having 3 different sets of bronze cloths. They had their first one, which was present in their the Sanctuary arc. They had their, I think it was called the New Bronze Cloth, which was present during the Asgard and Poseidon arcs. And then here they have the Final Bronze Cloth, which was present during, I don't know if you can see that, the Hades chapter. So yeah, this is the final version of their bronze cloths before they actually ended up getting god cloths, which is really cool. So there's that. On the side we got him getting ready to throw his meteor fist. On the top here we got Pegasus Seiya, final bronze cloth. On the side here we got the object mode for the Pegasus. Very, very nice. On the back here we got him throwing the meteor fist, also known as the Ryuseiken. Got him with the wings, looking very cool. And here with the, this is actually Athena's cloth, but it was just kept in this little statue form. So that's really cool. And he can actually hold that. And here we have all the different faces. Now on the bottom, we got him charging up his Ryuseiken. And yeah, that's it for the box. Let's take a quick look at the object mode. So here we have the Pegasus object mode. I'm just going to call it 3.0. because there was other Pegasus object modes before and they look different. But this one I feel like looks the most dynamic. It has the most character. It's prancing on its rear legs. It's getting up ready to take off. Very, very cool. Very silver, very shiny. I just opened this box up, I think 2-3 days ago. I actually ended up I got this figure around, I would say almost a month now, but I haven't really gotten to him. Got some gold highlights on the legs, on the front of the chest, and on the head crest. Got these huge, beautiful wings. It's a very small, very simple object mode because, of course, he is a Bronze Saint. Bronze Saints are supposed to have the least amount of armor compared to all the other Saints, so which is understandable that this is fairly simple. We'll see that actually there's not a lot of armor on this. We take all the armor. A lot of it's actually still the object mode itself and not the armor. So there's that. I'm going to leave that in the back. And here we have the figure for Seiya. Very red. He's got some nice bicep wraps here. Very cool. And here he actually comes with, you can see the armored up hands. Now, what happened was the earlier figures all had the flesh toned hands, but I think Bandai understood that no one's ever going to display the figure like this. Who's going to display this guy like this? No one's going to display it like this. They're either going to display the object mode by itself or with the figure armored up with the armor. No one's going to display this guy like this. So they were like, you know what, let's just save some plastic and we're not going to give the flesh tone hands. Because I think Hades was the only other figure, Hades I do have, is the only other figure that I have that does not have the flesh tone hands. They did release a OCE, which is original color edition of Wyvern Rhadamanthys, which is one of the specters in Hades' army. They actually ended up giving him metal joints like they did Hades, but I don't know if they actually gave him the armored hands instead of the flesh tone hands. But it's good to see that Bandai is understanding. They're taking away things that we really don't need, and they're making things a little bit easier for us. So, and of course, he doesn't have the metal joints because he absolutely does not need the metal joints. He barely has any armor on him, whereas Hades and Rhadamanthys had these huge wings, and they definitely needed some extra strength in the joints. So, anyways, take a quick look at the face. Enough of me rambling. Very good-looking face. Looks a little bit more, I guess, young compared to some of the other figures we looked at, and of course he is a teenager. Got a nice red unitard. Like I said, the bicep guards already. There's silver down at the feet. You can see he's even shorter than the other figures as well. And we'll do a quick comparison at the end. So articulation, head is on a ball joint and a swivel. And base of the neck is also on a ball joint right here. Make sure it's facing forward. We got butterfly ball joints for the shoulders here. Swivel all the way around. Can lift up to 90 degrees. We got a bicep rotation. Elbow bend that goes close to 180. And we got a ball hinge at the wrist. Now he has an ab crunch forward that much and also back that much. And you also probably notice that his waist isn't as narrow as some of the gold saints or people that actually have a lot of armor. And that's because he does not actually not have any waist armor. He doesn't have anything to protect his core, his abs. That's why it's more streamlined here rather than just a big slim torso. And because of that, he doesn't have any extending torso feature either. So we have a swivel at the waist, legs kick forward that far, kick back that far. He can do the splits, very nice. And he has a thigh rotation. We got a knee bend that goes pretty much to 180, a ankle swivel, pivots this far forward, this far back. We got a rocker that goes in this much, out that much, and we got a toe pivot and that goes up that much. So pretty good articulation here. And like I said, well, actually not like I said because I haven't said it yet, but this guy is actually very solid compared to the new bronze cloth, which I actually do have. I'll show him off in the comparisons later on. We'll see that guy is just absolutely, it's like a hand grenade. He's super loose. You cannot even pose him because he will just flop over. But this guy, I mean, look at that. Pretty solid. So you can even hear that squeaking. It's very solid, and I really do appreciate these figures when they're very solid. So yeah, so I will take all the armor off of the object mode and I will armor Seiya up, and I will be right back. And we are back with Seiya in his Pegasus armor, the final version of his Pegasus armor, looking very, very cool. There's a lot more armor with this final version of the bronze cloths than they had actually with the new and the first versions of it. So. Got the gold wings down the ankles here. We got the gold belt buckle. Nice silver shining armor. Very good face sculpt with the painting. Excellent hair sculpt as well. Asymmetry here in his forearm guards. Yeah, very nice looking. So let's take a look at some of the accessories. So this guy comes with a lot of hands. Let me just match some of them up for you so I actually know what's what. Because a lot of them do look very similar. He's got a pair of kind of open, relaxed hands. He's got a pair of, I guess, open, relaxed hands again, but these ones have a little bit more of a curl in his finger, like a bit of a claw kind of going on. He's got kind of like a grasping hand. And this is actually meant to go with, I'll just show you right here, this accessory. Now this is it's a mini statue of Athena, and this is actually also Athena's cloth. It's just stored in the shape of a little Athena statue, and basically it just grabs around just like that, and that's how it holds this. So this hand is specifically made to go with this extra accessory. And let's take a look here. Gotta be very gentle with it, because if you see here, this thing is just attached via this tiny little piece. You definitely don't want that to snap off. It's very nicely painted in this muted gold color. It's all one color. Very good sculpting, you can see. Athena holding, God, I can't remember the name of the god. I think it was Nike or something. There's a god that actually she holds in her hand. That's that right there. And then there's Athena's shield right there. This is all plastic, which is a little bit disappointing because there was a version that actually came with the Ares Shion Surplice, which I will review in the future. That one actually, it was plastic, but in the center it actually had die cast, so it was actually pretty hefty, whereas this thing is just a piece of plastic. So yeah, there's that accessory, and there's that hand that goes with that accessory. He has, I guess, two of his attack charging hands. He's got two middle fingers together, whereas the other ones are more of a claw shaped. And he has one claw hand. Now this is too much of a claw to hold that accessory, so I'm actually not sure what this is for. Maybe it's holding his his helm or his head crest. Now to change the hands, very simple. Let's just do this hand right here. We're going to bring him close, grab the hand, pop it right off, very easy. We're gonna take this hand armor, pop that right off, put it on this new one. Now these newer figures actually only come with one set of these handguards, so be sure not to lose it. The older ones actually came with two. And again, probably Bandai just cutting back on things they don't really need. So that's how you switch a hand, fairly simple. Now let's look at some of the faces. So he has his regular face, the stern face, ready to fight kind of face. He has a smirk, signature Seiya smile. He has looking off to the side, I'm gonna beat you up. There's a little bit of a smudge here on his brow. He has looking straight ahead, screaming. And he has looking straight ahead, gritting his teeth. And pretty easy to change the faces. What we're gonna do is remove this front hairpiece. Sometimes this might be a little harder than expected, so I'm just gonna pop that off just like that. Interesting piece of information is that this piece actually comes off by itself. It's a separate piece, and I don't know why. Even with the hairpiece that's meant to go with the helm or the head crest, this piece, there's no use for this extra piece. So I don't really know why this came as a separate piece. It doesn't really serve a purpose, but anyway, so that's the front hair piece. To change the face, we're just gonna grab the face, pop that right off, just like so. And let's make him happy, why don't we? So we're gonna take these two pegs, peg it onto the lower set of holes right here. And we're gonna take our hairpiece and just plop it back on, and here we got Seiya, and he's happy. Next, let's take a look at the head crest. So here's the head crest. Very shiny, very nice. It's got this gold kind of crest piece in the middle and these little wings on the side to represent Pegasus. It's made of plastic. And he comes with an extra hairpiece just for that head crest. Now to change the head crest on, what we're gonna do, again, we're gonna rip this hairpiece off. And we won't be needing this anymore, so I'm just gonna leave that there. I'm gonna get the faces out of the way as well. Next, to make things easier, that actually have this piece come off separately. So we're gonna pop this front hair piece off. We see there's two pegs, two holes. We're gonna take this one. We see there's a peg hole right here. We're going to attach that onto this little peg right there. Make sure it lines up. A little bit of finesse work, which I'm actually not the best at. So that's pegged in all the way. Next, we're gonna take these two pegs. We're gonna peg it back into this hair piece. Again, make sure everything lines up because sometimes things tend to pop off. Just like so. That's all secure. And then we're going to take this whole thing, we're going to plop it right onto his head. There we go. Perfect. So here we got Seiya with his head crest on. And see, it perfectly covers up everything, so I have absolutely no idea why this extra hairpiece on the side comes off. But I think that looks very, very nice. Really completes the look for Seiya. Now let's, oh right, one more piece, almost forgot. So the wings in Pegasus form can actually attach to his body and give him wings. It looks really cool. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come around, we're gonna grab this big piece, we're gonna pop that right off. This might be a little, there we go. Very easy. Get these shoulder pads out of the way. So what we're gonna do is we see we got big peg with two smaller pegs on the side, and we got a big peg hole with two smaller holes on the side. Very easy, line it up, give it a good press, and here we got Seiya with the wings. Now the wings were only showcased, I think, in one episode, when he was flying from the underworld to Elysium, where Hades' body was actually located. So it was only during that one time where he actually, the cloth sprouted wings, but other than that, it was just the same backpack. There was no wings. So that's how it looks with the wings. It looks very, very cool. Again, nothing like a god wing, but still very cool. I think a few of them also had wings. I think Hyoga, which is the swan or the Cygnus saint, also had wings, as well as Shiru, which was the dragon saint. So let's pop these wings back off. Let's bring them off to the side here. Let's bring this piece back. And let's take a look at some of the comparisons. So here is the 2.0 version of Seiya. Now they look very similar, I know. This is the new version of the cloth, and this is the final version of the cloth. They call it new because, like I said, there was 3 versions. There was the first one, which I actually do not have that figure. It's also not available in EX yet. I'm not sure if they will release that in EX. It's available in the regular Saint Cloth versions. And then there's the new bronze cloth, which is the second version, which is this. And then here we have the final version of the bronze cloth. And let's take a look here. I know they look very, very similar. This one's a little bit dusty because he's been on my shelf for a while. You can see the head crest here actually has, you can see a little face. You can see the red eyes and those prongs. Whereas this one here is basically just a circular golden crest. They still have wings on the sides of the head. Chest armor looks fairly similar. This one's a little bit more pointy towards the end. This one's a little bit more rounded. If we look on the side here, forearm guard, pretty similar. This one's asymmetrical as well, whereas this one has the 2-pronged on this side. Belt guard looks fairly similar. Now, big difference here is this guy has thigh guards, whereas this one does not. This one has rounded knee pads, where this one has square knee pads. And also the wings are on the back of this one, whereas it's more on the side of this one. But other than that, it's pretty similar. He has these 2 ridges on the back, where he has this big triangular piece. I actually believe he came with wings as well that you could put on him. For the purpose of this review and for the purpose of my sanity, I will not be reviewing this figure until they revive him. They've already revived the Phoenix Saint, so I guess it shouldn't be long before they revive him because look at this. He is an absolute mess. Everything is extremely loose on this guy, and he just will not pose. I mean, look at this. You bring the leg up, you shake it, and it just falls right down. He's a complete mess. So for the sake of my sanity, I will not be reviewing this guy until they revive him. But when they do revive him, I'm sure they will tighten up the joints. That will make everything much better. And then I'll have a comparison between these guys, and it'll be much easier for me. And just like a quick look at the face sculpts. Very, very similar. Let me just bring in the stern face so we can actually take a look between the same faces rather than one smiling and the other one is not. Right here, see the faces look pretty similar. Again, there's about like a 8-year difference between the release of these 2 figures. This one came out near the beginning of the line, whereas this one came out a month ago. So, yeah. Next, let's do one more comparison. And here he is with Sagittarius Aiolos, his predecessor as the Sagittarius Saint. Spoilers, he ends up being the Sagittarius Saint. And this is the revived version. I will do a quick review of him soon. But here we can see there's quite a bit of a height difference because he is more of a young adult. Actually, in the Saint Seiya anime, he's not really so young anymore. He's around like 27, 28, whereas he's in his teens. You see, there's quite a bit of a height difference here. So there's that. So yeah, definitely. Very, very good figure. Very good quality. He's not loose. I mean, even with all his armor on, he's fairly stiff. His waist isn't loose like the other one was. So I'm really glad to see that Bandai has tuned up some of the figures with the ears and really tuned up some of the quality, because I know a lot of people were very unhappy with the quality control on some of these figures, especially with all the armor on and it's so much more heavier. So yeah, very, very good looking figure. Very simple, but very good and gets the job done. So if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to let me know by hitting that thumbs up button. And until next time, guys, take care. Bye.